Hey everyone, what's up? Binge Fiend Gaming here. I decided to make a checkup video on how I've been progressing with this game. As you can see down in the bottom, I am a level almost 140, so I do have my good majority of experience with this game, and I generally know what I am talking about for sure. I can't say whether bigger YouTubers that obviously have more influence know what they're talking about, to be honest, because I see a lot of tutorials on how to rank up fast and farming XP, which is already an exploit that honestly doesn't sound like fun to me. And if you're not an account level higher than me and it's only taken me a little over a week, I think it's pretty irrelevant. But I've been somehow getting this much uniques. I don't generally buy them with the emeralds, and I'm basically going to give my take on how I got up this high. And I do want to confirm that getting 108 power gear, like my imploding crossbow, is very much real, and it is very much rare. This is my very first 108. I have never gotten a 108 before, and I somehow landed it on unique. I've seen maybe one or two other people on YouTube get 108s, in which one person of those two did not land it on a unique, so I'm finding myself pretty lucky that this is already an imploding crossbow, which is not one of the worst ranged uniques, if you know what I mean. So, how I got up this far is legit just playing every single mission, and then I think the ones that I always struggled with was Fury Forge, but not the boss. It was getting to the boss. So whenever I wanted to complete Fury Forge, I would go and get this one of the two damage reduction sets. I'd wear that and then try to build something around it. With damage reduction, what else would you do? Well, if I had mercenary armor, which that's the one with the weapon aura, that can work for range too, so I'd probably run a bow, and which I did, so I didn't take as much damage, and if I did, it was reduced, right? And the other one that I kept struggling with was the boss, and I have not found a chance, even in Apocalypse, to melee the boss because he teleports over and over again, just like his mechanics are programmed. So then what I do for here is legit complete bow build. What I mean by that is I probably always went back to CRYPT and grabbed like Hunter's armor just to get that plus 30% range damage. And then there's one of these that always had, yes, on default this has 4 bows. It might be bad, but it's probably one of your strongest bows that you could farm. And then you could just grind these, and it's not even a grind because at this level, let's see, there's gear and artifact power 1 to 8, 6 to 13, 12 to 19, 18 to 25, 24 to 31, 30 to 37. Honestly, the default story probably took me maybe like 3 to 5 hours, but that's probably because I take forever adventuring the world because I really like how it looks and whatnot, and I take my time. Then we go to adventure. Adventure is a different story because when you go from default to adventure, you get your gear drops, because I beat the boss personally on default 6 at the hardest difficulty offered for default. It drops you 30 to 37 gear and artifact power for the drops. But it doesn't actually stop there. If you're getting close to power 37, it'll start dropping you 38s, 39s, and so on, because it wants to like lean you in towards the next content, adventure mode. Then you come in here, and there's even more gear available, like phantom gear, you have soul bows, all sorts of stuff. Soul robes. A ton of more content is slowly leaked in. It's not really overwhelming, but there's more to do, more to build, more uniques that will end up carrying you. And I always did take my time because I kept looking at my level, and if you're not a high level and you're burning through this really easily, you're just not going to have enchants, and enchants are super important later in game, especially for Adventure 6 Obsidian Pinnacle. It's not bad, but when you get to 72, then it gives you the 73, 74, 75, leading you into Apocalypse. And you kind of want to go in order if you're trying to grow fast, but like, this is a legit way to grow fast. You should be enjoying the experience, because I'm already in Apocalypse. I've done everything except for the hidden mission behind Pumpkin Pastures. I've done everything on Apocalypse 6. Enjoy the time you have growing, because now what I'm trying to do is experience something new by collecting more uniques, because I've used every single default weapon in the game. I've used all of these. I've done builds for all of them, but there's no point in making a video on them, because I trust that anyone that's watching this video knows what they're doing. It is a simple, child-level dungeon crawler that is very fun. Play as you will. Everyone has their own play styles. And yeah, we're going to move on to adventure. Take your time. Have the fun that you want. I know I had really fun getting a soul scythe. One of the cooler weapons, in my opinion. Then you go to Apocalypse. Even more gear and artifacts available. This is where the growing gets extremely important. It drops 100 to 107. What's important about that is that you're going to be in that range for the rest of the game. The rest of the game. And the only way to get 108, as I know of, it's just merely by luck, to be honest. I've seen people get it wearing 105s, they were wearing 106s. They weren't wearing 107s, which I personally thought the requirement was, but that's not the case. So I'm to assume it is extremely rare to get a 108. More rare than it already is to get 107s. Which is already mind-boggling, because hardly anyone knows about 108. I've only seen a couple videos, and their views weren't crazy high, which means the population of Minecraft dungeons either isn't this far into the game, or they just aren't curious about the max. I personally was curious about the max, because once you get to the max, then you can keep all your cool stuff, such as all this. Which I will be doing a showcase further down the line as I get more and more uniques that were not in my last showcasing collection video. I certainly didn't have a good amount of these. And I do want to make a build video, probably later today. I'm just going to recap on how I grew fast. I honestly played at my own pace, but then again, I do play a lot of hours, and I would like to know where I can check my hours. And I did want to... Yeah, I think I am going to do a build later on. And what I do notice is, if you want to go extremely fast growing, I really do suggest you play by yourself. I really do suggest it if you're trying to grow as fast as possible. All this gear, say if you wanted to play with your friends, you guys have to adventure together. And then it's the group's pace. It's not necessarily sharing loot like a lot of day one players thought was gonna happen. It's different, because if you go down one corridor and you leave your 3 teammates and you open up a chest, and then it drops a ton of emeralds and it gives you a unique, and maybe it just gives whatever to your teammates, but they were not close enough to the chest vicinity, it's like that chest never existed. They will not get loot. You have to adventure together if you want to open up the chest and all get loot. You don't share emeralds, and you don't share loot. So, what would you rather do? Go at your pace, which may or may not be a fast pace, or would you want to go at the group's pace, which may or may not be faster? But the thing to look at it is there is a mechanic that if you were playing with like a group of 4, your where it says your power, that'll get moved down to be level with the gear and artifact power. So it'll basically get pushed down and make room for team power. That team power increases the difficulty of the mission significantly, even if you have 2 people. It might be easier, but the mission will also be harder. Imagine your enemies getting a larger health pool and more damage reduction. It's obvious, because it's trying to compensate for the amount of damage the whole group is about to do. Endgame weapons are crazy. I don't have my sword build right now, or the death cap mushroom to prove it, but that's 2.6, 3.2, 4.6, and I don't even have melee damage. I don't even have my sword build right now. And things like this exist. An exploding gravity unique that can have an infinity enchantment. So I can sit here, and it can also proc wild rage, and all my minions can go at it. Since I'm wearing fox armor, I can heal them after they shortly take damage. This content is crazy on game. It gets very complicated. It's like this for the rest of the game. It's probably going to be like this for the next couple of DLCs, however many there is. I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm just going to wrap this video up. Let you all ponder how you want to take this and how you want to grow fast. Because once you get up to this level, it's collecting and leveling. And once you collect this many cool things, like a harp crossbow and whatnot, and once you enchant them, but then you're done playing with them, do you really want to delete your cool collection items, knowing that you're not going to get one anytime soon unless you go out of your way? That's all for me, guys. Ninjbeam Gaming. I will see you all probably later today. Bye-bye!